Hi everyone, it's me again. I am here to talk to you about MAC brushes and their different usages as well as the type of fibers that are in the brush. I've gotten a lot of requests to do this type of video. So first I want to start out with showing you my brushes. This is my MAC brush belt and this is what I take with me to jobs, and I just wanted to talk about the different brushes that they offer, as well as what I personally use them for, their different usages, and so forth. What I'm telling you is my own personal opinion. I'm not in any way saying that these are the rules for these brushes. These are just the ways that I've found work best. I'd like to start out by talking about the elements of a brush. Let me just pick one out here. So on the very top of the brush, right up here, you've got the flower tip. This is essentially the part of the brush that comes in contact with the skin. Underneath here, this metal part, this is called a ferrule, and basically a ferrule is a metal sleeve that attaches one thing to another. So in this case, this ferrule is attaching the handle to the bristles, and then underneath you've got your handle. So that is what the makeup of a brush is, and basically the fibers are, the one end of the fibers are dipped in glue, and then they are placed inside the ferrule, and then they clamp the ferrule shut so that it binds with the handle. For that reason, when you clean your brushes, you want to make sure that you don't hold them upward so that water is getting into the ferrule, because then it will loosen the glue and then you'll have some shedding. So always clean your brushes faced downward like this, that way the water can just drip down rather than going inside of the ferrule. I'm going to start with the face brushes. I'm going to start with, this is the 150 brush. This is a large powder brush. This is made of goat hair, and I use this brush for pretty much any powder product. I use it for setting powder, powder foundation, bronzer, blush, so it's a really nice brush. Next is my 129, and the 116 is very similar to this, just a slightly different size. This is also made of goat hair. I use this for blush, powder, contour, highlight. I use it for so many different things. Next is the 168 brush. And I just love this brush. I think that everyone should have this brush. I use it for liquid foundation, powder foundation, setting powder, contour, highlight, blush. I've even used the tip of it to put eyeshadow right in the crease. It's just a really great brush. That brush is made of select goat hair. Next is the 109 brush. This is considered a small contour brush, but you can use it for any type of powder products. I also like to use it for liquid foundation, but it really does make a nice contour brush because it just fits so nicely right into the contour area of your cheek. This is made of select goat hair. Next is the 190. This is a synthetic brush. This is a foundation brush. I like to use this also for my cream blush and my liquid foundation, as well as concealer. Next is the 184 fan brush. This I think is discontinued, but some people still have this. I like to use this pretty much just to sweep away fallout from eyeshadow. Some people use this for highlight. I don't really like it because I think it's too skinny for that. But this is made of the white fibers are synthetic and the black fibers are goat. Next is the 191 brush. This is MAC's paint brush, that's what they call it. This is really great for painting body products. I don't like it too much for foundation, but it is good for concealer and body products. This is synthetic. Next is the 128 brush. This was the split fiber brush that came out with the Semi Precious collection. I love this brush for cream blush products. I put it on with the synthetic side, and then I sweep it on this way, and then the black side, which is the natural fiber hair side, that just kind of naturally blends it as you go. Next is one of my favorite brushes. This is the 130 brush. I love this brush because of its size. It's kind of made to be the size of like a fingertip. So if you need to get underneath the eye, this brush is perfect for that. This is a duo fiber brush, so the white hairs are synthetic and the black ones are goat. I use this for all of my skincare, as well as foundation and concealer. Next is a 188 brush. I don't use this brush for too much. Sometimes I'll use it for skincare products, but I think that it's too flimsy to be a powder brush, and I think it's, I don't know, I just don't really like this brush, so sorry. Next is the 187. I use this brush for a lot of things. I use it for foundation, powder, bronzer, contour, highlight, not concealer, and blush. And you might be wondering, how can you do contour with this being so big? Well, I just use just the corner of it and pop it right in there and do it like that. This is synthetic and goat hair. Now I'm going to go down to my eye brushes, starting on this side. This is a 242. I use this to apply eyeshadow. I also use it to apply any cream-based products, so paints, paint pots, cream color bases, concealer. This brush is good for that. This brush is a mix of synthetic and pony hair. Its big brother, however, is all synthetic. This is the 252. I use it pretty much for the same thing that I use the 242. I use it for eyeshadow, any emollient products like concealer or cream color bases. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next is a 249. This is a synthetic brush. This is intended to pack on eyeshadow, which is what I use it for. Next I have a 195 brush. This is a concealer brush. It's synthetic, and I really like it to use as an eyeshadow brush because of the angle right there at the tip. It's perfect for fitting it right in the outer area of the eye. So I usually use it more for eyeshadow than I do for concealer. Next I have, I think this is, yeah, a 234 brush. This was another split fiber brush that came out in the Semi-Precious collection. This is a mixture of synthetic and I think goat hair. Sad to say, I don't really like this brush for much. It's not a really good blending brush, so if you have a chance to buy it, I would just skip it. Next is a 217. This is made of select goat hair. I don't use this brush for blending. I think it's a horrible blending brush, and I don't know how so many of you are using it as a blending brush. I get a really messy blend when I use this brush. I like this brush to apply like an all-over wash of eyeshadow. I also like to use it for concealer or any emollient based products like cream color bases when I put those on my lid. That's what I like this brush for. I do like this brush to blend emollient products, but I don't like this brush to blend regular powder eyeshadows. Next is a 222. This is also made of select goat hair. Mine's a little bit messy. I like to use this brush for concealer, and pretty much concealer only. I don't like this to blend eyeshadow. I think it's too long and kind of floppy to be a good blending brush. That's just my opinion. Next is a 224. If you don't have this brush, then get this brush. This is one of the best brushes that MAC makes. This is made of goat hair. It just is a really awesome tapered blending brush. It fits right into the crease, and it's very soft, so it gives a perfect blended look. I've heard a lot of people complain that this brush is too big for their eyes. That's just not true. I use this brush on every single client that I have, and I see a different client every day. I see different eye shapes every day, and a lot of them have really small eye space, but this brush works fine. And here's why. Because you're not using this brush to actually apply any color, you're only using it to blend it. So if the color is already put on your lid, then it's not applying anything else. It's not like it's gonna make that color bigger than it should be. So all it is using its soft fibers to blend it where it should be. The next brush is a 226. I really hope that they make this permanent. This is not a blending brush. Going back to my 224 small eye story situation, I've heard a lot of people say that they use this brush with their small eyes as a blending brush. This is not a blending brush. This is too dense to be a blending brush. It's just too thick and dense. It's not going to give you a nice blend. What this brush is good for, because of its shape and its density, this brush is good to apply a little bit of color in the crease and slightly diffuse it. That's it. Next is a 205 brush. This is a Pro product. This is a mascara fan brush. It is synthetic, and as well as using it for mascara, I like to use it for fluid lines and paint on like colored mascara. Next is a 204 brush. This is a synthetic brush, and I like this brush because you can mold the top of it because it's made of like thin metal that you can shape. I just pretty much use this to shape brows. Next is a 213 fluff brush. This is made of pony hair. This is kind of just a very general eyeshadow brush. It's not really going to pack on the color. It's not going to blend. It just kind of puts it on. If you're the type of person that just likes to wear one eyeshadow, then this is your brush. Next is a 239. This is made of Select Goat. I don't really like this brush for anything. A lot of people like to use it to pack on their eyeshadow, and I sometimes do that, but I prefer a 242 brush for that. I just don't really like this brush. I don't like the way it feels, so that's just my take on it. Next is a 272. This is kind of the 239's sister. It's a angled brush. I don't really use it that often. I picked it up at a CCO because it was kind of a rare find. But yeah, so it's made of Select Goat hair as well. Next, I have a 228 mini shader brush. I actually use this more for lip products than I do eyeshadow. Actually, I don't think I've ever used this for eyeshadow. It's intended to be an eyeshadow brush, and it's very small, so you can use it in really small spaces. But it's the perfect lip brush for me, so that's what I use it for. This is made of pony hair. Next is a 311 lip liner brush. This is no longer being sold. Your MAC store might still have some left, but this is a synthetic brush, and it's called a lip liner brush. However, I mostly use it for like gel eyeliner or just lipstick, and just being able to apply it really evenly. Next is a 231 brush, and this is also meant to be an eyeshadow brush. I find it just kind of an awkward feel to the fibers for it to be an eyeshadow brush, so I either will use this as a lip brush or as an eyeliner brush. It is perfect for gel eyeliner. I just love this brush. So this is actually a synthetic brush. Next is a 275. This is kind of a sister to the 213. This is made from Japanese pony hair, and this is just an angled fluff brush. I don't really find a lot of use for this brush, so I don't really use it. Next is a pencil brush, and I don't know where my full-size one went, but this is made from Select Goat. This is great for smudging your eyeliner. It's great for applying eyeshadow underneath your eye. It's great for applying eyeshadow in small areas of the eye that you need it to. So that's a great brush. Next is the 212 brush, and this I want to say is synthetic. I'm not totally sure. This is an eyeliner brush. I don't like it because of the shape. I just think if you're gonna do a flat liner brush, make it a lot thinner than that, like not as wide. I just think like if you're gonna put that on your eye, I mean, what if your eye is curved? At that point, you can't use this brush. So I just don't really use that brush. Next is a 263 or 266 brush. A 263 brush is very similar to a 266 brush. This one here is a 266. The difference is the 263 is synthetic, whereas the 266 is a mixture of synthetic fibers and ox hair. I like this brush mostly for eyebrows, filling in eyebrows. I will occasionally use it for gel eyeliner. There's also the 209 or 210 brushes. These are synthetic. They're supposed to be for eyeliner. I'm just not a big fan of using these for eyeliner or for anything for that matter, so I don't really use these ones. So those are just the brushes that I have. I know that MAC makes other ones, but I don't have them, so I'm not really thinking of them. If you have a brush that you're unsure of what to do with, just let me know what the number is and I can look it up for you and tell you how I might use that brush. So this is my brush belt, and I hope that you have learned something about MAC brushes and how to use them. Thanks a lot for watching.